Claude Co-Work just dropped, and honestly, it's a game changer for how you run your business. But only if you stop using it like a chatbot. Most people are just asking it questions when they could be getting it to handle entire workflows. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 levels of leverage when it comes to Claude Co-Work, which allows you to turn Claude Co-Work into an actual useful assistant who actually executes on your work so you can focus on the strategy. And by level 3, I'm going to show you a single workflow using Claude skills that takes one YouTube podcast transcript and turns it into carousels that automatically get posted to TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram automatically. Posted, designed, done. Well, you're not even at your computer, but we'll get there. If you're still manually doing tasks that follow the same pattern every time, formatting content, updating databases, pulling reports, you're trading your decision-making time for execution time. And that's the most expensive trade-off you can make in business. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 levels of leverage with Claude Co-Work. Simple automations anyone can do in 5 minutes. Connected workflows that give you a personal assistant, and skills that run entire processes while you focus on what actually matters in your business. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brooke Wright. I own Wright Mode, and I help women entrepreneurs implement AI and automations in their business so they have more time and more money. And this is the tool you've been waiting for. Let's get into it. So Claude Co-Work is essentially Claude with hands. So it can work with your files and folders on your computer. It can access the browser for you, connect your apps via connectors, and run tasks in the background while you do other things. So you've got 3 modes with Claude. We've got our chat, we've got Co-Work, and then we've even got Claude Code on the desktop. We're focusing on Co-Work today, and I find that this is a really nice bridge between chat and code. And for those of you who are non-technical and feel like the terminal is just overwhelming, Co-Work is going to blow your mind. So to access this, you do need at least the $20 a month Claude plan. Let's get into level 1. And this is the basics. Things that anyone can do within their first 5 minutes with Claude Co-Work. And I've got 2 examples, and then we're going to build from there. My downloads folder is a disaster. There's screenshots everywhere, random downloaded files, total chaos. So I'm going to select my downloads folder here. And so you can give it access to any folder on your computer. Let's hit downloads. And then I'm just going to give Claude a simple instruction. Now, I have got Claude to clean up my downloads folder previously, and it's made these really nice naming conventions. So it's just going to sort everything out again after 2 weeks of chaos. Just for context, this is what my downloads folder currently looks like. And down here is what Claude organized it with last time. So let's get it to tidy it up again. Hey Claude, can you tidy up my downloads folder and just put anything that needs to in the folders that you have created previously? And so with Co-Work, you can see where it's working. And then over here, it makes a little to-do list of things that is going to do for us. You can see here that it has access to my downloads folder, and it's just going to tidy everything up for me in like 20 seconds. All right, so that took like 20 seconds. I just told it what to do, and now it's done. So you can see it created these naming conventions straight away. Everything is nice and organized, and I don't have to worry about that chaos anymore. Now, here's where it gets more useful for businesses, and this is still level 1. So let's say I've signed a new consulting client, and I need to get their onboarding pack together. I've got a template folder that I use every time, which has a bunch of documents, questionnaires, all of it. So I'm going to tell Claude to duplicate that folder, rename everything with the client's business name, and also update the welcome documents with their name and details. So to do that, I'm just going to go over here to a new task. And what's really cool about Claude Co-Work is you can have multiple tasks running in parallel. So now I'm going to give it access to the desktop, and that's where my onboarding template lives. And I'm going to say, hey Claude, I have a client onboarding template. I have a new client who's just signed on. Their business name is Bloom mechanics, and the contact is Sarah Bloom. Can you please duplicate the client onboarding folder and update the documents with her details? So it's going to search my desktop now and make a plan to copy this and update all of the documents. So let it run. Okay, so that took like 2 minutes. So here's my client onboarding template. And here's the one that it has recreated with all of the folder structures. It's renamed all of these and added in all of the details for the placeholders. This is crazy. That's a task that I or my VA would have to do manually every time I sign someone. Now, Claude can do that automatically while I'm doing something else. So that's level 1. It's simple file automations, useful, but honestly, we are just warming up because level 2 is where Claude stops being a tool and starts feeling like having an actual assistant. So level 2 is where you connect Claude to your actual business tools. And this is where the real leverage kicks in. First, let me show you how to connect your tools via connectors. So if we just hit the plus button in Co-Work, we can go down here to connectors. So you can see that I've got a bunch of tools that I work with already connected. You just want to hit manage connectors over here and you can see we've got Gmail, Google Calendar, Slack, Notion, Canva, so many to choose from. And if you want more, you just hit browse connectors and you've got a whole bunch of connectors now have access to, which means you can work with your apps inside Claude. And all you need to do is hit plus and you'll be prompted to sign in. And that's as simple as it is. Now, watch what we can do with this. So here's what I've built. It's a morning briefing skill that catches me up on everything I need to know before I start my day. I can ask it one question and Claude's going to check my Gmail, calendar events, and it's going to send a message in Slack saying, hey, here's what your day's looking like. So let's run it. To do that, all I need to say is, hey Claude, can you use your morning briefing skill and tell me what my day is looking like? Make sure you send this to me in Slack. Okay. And so here is my morning briefing in Slack. And what's really cool about this skill is that you can set this up to run every morning at 8 a.m. I literally built this same workflow in N8N last year, and it took me like a couple of hours to get everything connected, whereas you can just build this as a skill now, which we're going to get into. So I'm sure you're like, okay, that sounds cool, but how do I actually build it? Let's do it. So over here in your profile, if you just go down to settings and jump into capabilities, you will see the option for skills. And so just jump into example skills and make sure you have skill creator turned on. And from there, you can try this in the chat and it'll just ask you what you want to build. So let's say, hey Claude, can you please create a morning briefing skill? I want this to run on a cron schedule at 7:30 a.m. every morning. I want you to check my Gmail and Google Calendar and let me know everything that I have on for the day. Also, let me know if I have any outstanding emails from the day before. And I want this to send me a message in Slack on my personal assistant channel. And from here, using its skill, very meta, I know, it will create this skill for you. It will know to draw on those tools that we have connected via connectors, so Gmail, Google Calendar, and Slack. And because I've already set this skill up, it has recognized that. And so it's just going to update the timing because I've changed that from 8 a.m. to 7:30. And so over here, you can see the apps that it's got connected, and this is the morning briefing skill. And so now every time I want to run this, I can say use your morning briefing skill, or it will default to that 7:30 a.m. schedule. So we've done some basic file cleanup and onboarding new clients, morning briefing skill. Now let me show you browser automation. And again, I'm going to use a very meta example. So, hey Claude, I'm doing a YouTube tutorial and I want to show viewers how to use your Chrome extension. Can you create an example? Okay, inside my school community, I want to make sure that there's no questions left outstanding. So let's use Claude Chrome extension to make sure that all questions have been answered and I'm still engaging in the group. Hey Claude, can you make sure I haven't missed any of the community questions in my school membership? So what this does is it will take a screenshot of each click that it's doing, and it will review this and make sure that I haven't missed any of my members' questions. And what's really cool about this is you can also teach it your workflows. So say I wanted this to run at 3 p.m. every day and just make sure I haven't missed anything, I can tell Claude to do that for me. And the way I do that is by using this. This is Teach Claude. So I basically record what I'm doing, and it acts a bit like Loom for Claude, and then it can run on a schedule. So if we hit start recording, and then I'm here now, and I can say, hey, every Monday, let's write a Monday morning post. Claude will record this, and then once we're done, we save that as a workflow. And this becomes a shortcut that I can call on. So we can call this post school, and then I can hit schedule here. And that's how we can get this to run on a schedule. Claude will open up the Chrome extension and go and do this for me. All right, so now we're at level 3 where things just have leveled up. So this is where we can create multi-step workflows using external APIs to create reusable skills to go do stuff for us. The example I'm going to show you is my podcast. So I get the YouTube transcript. Claude is going to analyze that for me. It's going to write an email that will be sent to my Notion because that's where all of my email drafts sit. And it's going to draft LinkedIn posts and Instagram and TikTok. But the really cool thing is it's going to use Blotato's MCP. Now, if you don't know what Blotato is, it's my favorite social media scheduling platform by Sabrina Romanov, and I've created my whole content engine. Everything gets repurposed from TikTok, and all of my transcripts for my talking head reels on TikTok and these podcast transcripts get automatically created into visually appealing carousels and automatically get posted across the platforms. Now, before we build this, I'm going to show you how to connect Blotato to Claude Co-Work. And again, Sabrina has made this super easy. So if you go down here to settings, and you do need a paid plan for this, and jump over to API. She has built this MCP now, and all you have to do is copy that, go back into Claude Co-Work and paste it in, and that will connect Blotato's MCP for you. So mine's already connected here. So I'm going to show you how I've mapped this out now. So I just basically said, I want to create this workflow, and I knew that it was capable with Blotato because I had built this in N8N. The reason I'm showing you how to do it in Co-Work is you don't need to mess around with that anymore. And if you don't know how to use N8N, you can just describe with language now, and Co-Work will build it for you. So I said I wanted to paste a transcript. I actually wanted to get it from YouTube, but you could paste a transcript. That could be the trigger for this workflow. And then it would pull out email, LinkedIn, carousels for social media, and then they would get created in Blotato and posted out. And also the email draft would sit in Notion where all of my email marketing sits. We just described it, and then Claude was like, here's what I need, the Blotato API. I pasted that MCP in to set it up. And if you don't know what an MCP is, it's just like a USB connector between Claude and the apps that you're working in. And then I posted in my Blotato API key, which again, you just need to copy from here and paste it in. And then we just went through the process of this. So it created the skill, and I'm going to show you now how that looks. So it created this to-do list. I said I wanted to have this run at 8-hour intervals. So it would create 3 to 4 carousels that are all posted out. And this is promoting my podcast. It would also write the email copy, the carousel slides, but create the visual assets too, because I don't want to be in Canva doing this stuff. So after we worked through that, it created the skill. It drew from my brand voice documents, which I've given it access to, and it created the skill to post to Blotato. It also grabbed assets, so photos from my website, to use as the carousel assets. So let's have a look at these now. So it has created all of these from my podcast. So the last podcast episode I did was about how AI training for corporations is pretty rubbish when it's all just based on generic. And I personally believe you should find some AI operators and train them up. Give people foundational training, but then go deep with certain people in your organization. And so it has pulled these. Let's grab one. It has pulled these photos from my website and then the text and created these. So these are all on brand. It has done all of this. I haven't pasted any of this in. It has run this skill using Blotato's API to create these. And then it has scheduled them out at 8-hour intervals. So if we just jump on my Instagram now, you can see these. So here is that one that we just viewed in Blotato. So it wrote this caption, that's all posted. Hashtags, all of it is sorted. Even here down to, that is my ManyChat trigger word for the podcast. So now all I need to focus on is creating one high quality piece of content for my podcast, upload that to YouTube, and this skill runs in the background. So that entire process, the transcription, the analysis, the content creation, design, and posting, all from one skill. And one video becomes 3 pieces of content across 3 platforms, and I didn't touch any of it. That's level 3. So let me zoom out for a second because this isn't just about cool tech demos. The businesses that figure out how to use AI for execution, not just ideation, but actual doing, they're going to have a massive advantage. So that one workflow saves me hours. That is saving me from outsourcing to a VA to create this content. That is saving me up to 3 hours per podcast episode. Everyone's got AI subscriptions. Almost nobody has proper AI workflows. What I showed you today was level 1's quick wins to get familiar with Claude Co-Work. Level 2 is where we connected our workflows that save you time every day and create a personal assistant. Level 3 is a skill that runs my entire content creation process while you do something else. So you don't need to start at level 3, just pick one thing that eats up your time and automate that, then build from there. Now, if you've made it this far and you're thinking, I want this, but I need some actual help to build this for my business, I've got 2 ways that I can help you. So first, if you want one-on-one strategy, I offer consulting where we map out your exact workflows and how AI can fit into your business. Second, if you're the kind of person who wants to learn how to do this stuff properly in your own business, or you want to be that person to consult and implement in other businesses, join my membership. I'll drop the link below and you can apply to join. Also, if you want to see more on how I'm using Claude and AI in my business, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. I'm putting new content out every week, and I will see you on the next episode.